Hey, Utah, leave those books alone. Hello, welcome to my channel, another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I am recording this during Banned Books Week. It will probably be posted a little bit afterwards. But earlier in the month of August, the state of Utah decided to ban 13 books, which they deemed inappropriate for Utah public schools. So what are the good folks of BookTube gonna do about that? Well, MJ, at Reading This Life, decided she wanted to read one of those books that was banned in Utah, and that was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And it is a romantasy, which, if you are unfamiliar, is a cross between fantasy and romance. This is not the type of book I would normally read. But she was starting I'm With the Band book club. And I decided, you know, if it's good enough for Utah to ban, I should give it a try. So, in adjunction to this book ban, MJ created this wonderful t-shirt, Reading Rebels Read Banned Books, from her channel, Reading This Life. And this t-shirt, along with a hoodie, is available from her for purchase. All proceeds from the t-shirts and the hoodies will go to the American Library Association so they can help fight banned books. So I joined this reading group. It is on this new app called Fable. And there are about 35 or 36 people in this reading group. A lot of them are like me and just not familiar with the romantasy genre. But I went into this. I got the audiobook from Audible. As of today, it is still currently for free if you are not an Audible member. So if you like audiobooks and you want to try out this banned book, give it a shot. Doesn't cost you anything. So, what is this book basically about? It is about a young woman in this fantasy land. She's about 19 years old. Her father was crippled after some bad investments with people who are not happy with not paying back loans. And she has to provide food for her family. And in this fantasy land, there was an event around 500 years ago where the humans used to be ruled by these humanoid creatures called fairies. And there was a war, and the humans and the fairies split. There is a wall separating the races. It is an invisible, magical wall. And the young woman, Farah, decides to go out hunting, and she kills a very powerful wolf. Unfortunately, this wolf was a fairy in disguise. And according to the rules of the fairies, that the fairies are allowed to take revenge against the human that kills a fairy. But this fairy decides to take Farah to fairyland and to be living with her sort of as his guest. Now, there will, of course, be a romance developing between Farah and her fairy. I kind of forget his name. It wasn't all that important to me. Now, as a style of writing, as a style of storytelling, fantasy rarely works for me. Romance works even less. However, I kind of enjoyed this story. There are a lot of familiar tropes and a lot of cliches. And I read through this book. I enjoyed listening to it. I guess is the technical way I did it. And it was okay. But what I did not find was anything that could be really considered ban-worthy. Early in the book, there are some sort of cult people who are trying to worship the old fairy gods. And Farah and her kind just saying, nah, we don't need no stinking gods. And okay, I guess the Mormons would be, just a little bit upset with people saying, we don't need no stinking gods. So maybe they're upset about that. There is one sex scene towards 2/3 of the way through that is just a little bit risque. It is not really overly graphic. And if I were the father of a teenage girl, I would say this book is absolutely fine for her to read. Of course, the Mormons disagree. I can see the Mormons getting really upset with that impiety, that little bit of sex, and I can see the Moms for Liberty, or whatever group is in Utah that is similar to the Moms of Liberty, raising their fists in the air, pulling out their hair, crying because young women are enjoying this romantasy book. Impiety, a little bit of sex. It never hurt anyone in this world. So I cannot see any reason whatsoever why this book should be banned. Let the young women enjoy their story, however much they want to, or if they don't like it, they don't have to like it. But let it be available in public libraries for the readers to decide. And if young men decide they like it, well, all the more power to the young men. Now, a lot of the group I was reading with are mostly people who are older, out of the demographics for this genre and style. Some of them liked it. Some of them really didn't like it. But a lot of them were like me, going like, it's okay. However, I have decided I am going to go for the second book in this series, because eventually the I'm With the Band Club will get around to reading that book. Not this coming month. They are doing Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. It just so happens to be another book that was banned by the state of Utah. It is also a book that I have read twice before. It's been 5-6 years, but honestly, I can't think of any reason whatsoever to ban Oryx and Crake. But if you want to read it, I can say it's a pretty darn good book, and you will not be upset if you read Oryx and Crake. So go seek out her channel, go seek out her link to the Fable app, and join the I'm With the Band book group. I think you might enjoy it. On my own, I selected another book that was banned by Utah. And that is Blankets by Craig Thomson. This is a graphic novel. It is a coming-of-age story. Again, I'm not real keen on coming-of-age stories, but it was banned. I had to find out why this book was ban-worthy. So you pick up and read it. It is the story of a religious young man. He goes off to summer camp, a Christian summer camp, or should I say winter camp. And he falls in love with another beautiful teenage girl. And she's a bit of a rebel. He's sort of a rebel himself. And they just form this really close friendship. And after the summer camp, they decide they want to meet up over the winter and have 2 weeks together. The main character is going to skip school because he's a senior and he's going to graduate whether he skips school or not. So they have 2 weeks together in the winter and they fall in love. Yes, it is a love story. And I'm purposely mispronouncing love as love because that's the way it feels to me. So what is bad about this book? Well, the narrator, this is not a novel, this is a memoir, is basically a Christian, and he starts doubting some of his Christian beliefs toward the end of the book. And he decides, maybe I don't need this religion in my life. Okay, it's another case of the Mormons going, oh no, he's non-religious. He's teaching kids that they don't have to believe in God. Well, you can get along in life just fine without believing in God. And you might have a damn good life doing so. But also, there is just a wee bit of nudity in this book. There is a scene, kind of early in the book. I'm not going to look it up. It's not really graphic, but it's quite clear from the illustration that the boy is naked. His naked thigh is covering his naughty bits. But his hand is in between. And you know what that boy is doing. Because he's thinking about his girlfriend. Later on in the book, when they're together in Upper Michigan, he's from Wisconsin, she takes off her top for him. Oh, those naughty, wicked, evil teenagers thinking about sex. What kind of teenager would do that? So those are the two reasons why Blankets probably got banned by the Mormons. As a book, I'm kind of disappointed in this book. It's even less my style than A Court of Thorns and Roses, mostly because I think it was just really rather sentimental and cloying with his idealistic looking back on his teenage love that was so meaningful when he was growing up. Coming of age stories, they're just not my thing. I think I've said that before. However, I think this book is absolutely fine for teenage boys or teenage girls. If you're an adult and you like that kind of thing, well, you might enjoy this book. As I said, I'm a little disappointed, but no reason on the face of this earth this book should be banned at all. So that is my experience reading for the Utah banned books. I have read at least one other book on their list. I think that was Ellen Hopkins' Tilt, or did I read Crank? It's a trilogy of books. I read the first one. Again, it was a young adult book about prostitution and drug use. I thought it was fine. Out of the 3 books, or 4 books if you include Oryx and Crake, that is probably the strongest. It has the strongest feel to it that might be adult. But still, if I were the parent of a teenager, I would have absolutely let him or her read that book. So I will state it once again. Utah, leave those books alone. And you probably would do yourself a favor looking up some of these books and judging for yourself just how over the top Utah is. And they're really stretching. Don't ban books. Read banned books. Thank you for watching and keep on reading.